Everyone, we'll call to order this regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Street. It's February 13th, 2020. I'd like to introduce Daniel Beard and have him come forward for invocation. He's with Action Church. Everyone stand.
Let us pray. Gracious Father, we thank you, God. I thank you, God, for this opportunity. I thank you, God, for this city, God, the city in which I reside in and we reside in as citizens, God. God, I thank you, God, for these elected officials that are elected and appointed and even hired, God. God, I pray, God, that you give them wisdom tonight, God, as they make the decisions ahead, God, in this council meeting and every future council meeting, God. God, I pray over our citizens tonight, God, that we would be blessed by those decisions, God, for our communities, for our city, God, whether it's financially, whether it's economically for our city, or whether it's just blessed, for our city ourselves. God, I pray, God, over this meeting, God, may you just order our steps. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Beard. Roll call, Ms. Moses.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Helton. Here. Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Here.
Councilmember Witt. Here. City Manager Dorsey.
Here.
City Attorney Litchler.
Here.
I'll move into the consent agenda. I assume everyone's had a chance to read the minutes from the February 13th, 2020 regular council meeting and the January 2020 financial report. I'll entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
I make motion to approve.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? See none? Roll call, Ms. Miller.
Vice Mayor Helton. Abstain. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt. Yes. Mayor Williams.
Yes. This time, we will move into communication from citizens. This is an opportunity for any citizen, property owner, business owner to come forward with any questions, concerns they'd like to bring to the council. Thank you, sir. I have one that signed in, Ms. Jane Sharp. If you'll come forward, give us your name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Jane Sharp, 6112 Schofield Avenue, and I'm here on behalf of East Ridge Counts. We are the volunteer organization that is assisting with public outreach and engaging everyone in our community to participate in the 2020 census. I'm sure at this point all of y'all know how important it is, but just to reinforce that, we have shirts for everybody. So
we hope we got the sizes right. I'm Earl Wilson with the Census Count and the Census Bureau. I've been hired as an enumerator. But for each of you up here, we have a Census 2020 counts. So I'd like to pass them out to everybody at this time. And hopefully, if we've got the sizes right, everybody will be happy.
while he's passing those out, I will give you just a couple of little statistics about the census. It was actually begun during the administration of George Washington for the purpose of finding out how many people lived in each region so that they could then assign representation to the United States Congress. It was one of the first government organizations to hire freed slaves after the Civil War because they were able to hire people who could communicate with people who were now going to be counted as equals in 1868. I believe, was when they were hired. It was also one of the first organizations to have a majority of women working for their organization at the beginning of the 20th century. So it is an organization that has a great deal of autonomy and has a great deal to be proud of, especially the fact that, and this is, I can't say this strongly enough, the information that is provided to the census is confidential and is held confidential for a period of 72 years. And that is to protect the information and to increase the confidence level of anyone who participates in the census, that their information will not be used on a personal basis. So we're very proud to represent this organization, and we're hoping to get everybody in East Ridge counted.
As the count committee that Omni's worked so diligently on, we would like for each of you, if you would, to take a picture with your shirt on and either post it or on Facebook or send it to Omni so we can build a file for it, and then we'll get it there. And also, the census is still looking for more employees for Hamilton County. We're 500 short. We have till March the 7th for anybody to go to census.gov to sign up for a job. The pay is $19.50 an hour. You can work around your other jobs that work with your scheduling and things like that, but it's very important to our city, so we need all the people we can get. If anybody's ever got any questions about it, you can reach out to me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, and thank you for the work and effort that you're putting into this, and we'll continue. It's going to be a massive effort to get everyone counted. Thank you for the shirts.
We expect good pictures.
We'll have to take
One
one.
with Noah in them, so, because it's the hard to count people, so if you've got grandkids or young kids, please have your picture made with them and post it, the hard to count.
That's all that we have signed in. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward and address the council? Any questions, concerns? I see no one else, so we will move into communication from the council members. I'll start on this side. Councilmember Cagle, do you have anything?
Yes, sir. The house on Graybrier in Congress, neighbors called me and they said they would like for me to thank all the people that were involved in getting that place cleaned up. It sure looks a whole lot better down there. And so there's a big thank you from them, because she said they cleaned the inside out. And ungodly amount of furniture, mattresses and stuff in there. So it's all been cleaned up. Thank them. And I'd like to know how much trouble it would be. This is property tax time, and I know it is pay time, so how much trouble it would be for someone to go back to all of the properties that we have rezoned, where we've had all these split zones, put them all as commercial or all residential, to be sure that all the ones we have done are on the tax rolls right for next year. You know, for example, like the church property down here, the night that it got sold and this guy bought it, it was off the tax roll and it's supposed to be back on. Is it back on? That's, you know, that's what I'd like to know. And there's several other properties, like up our Kingwood, we zoned that house behind it commercial. The house over here, we zoned it commercial. One down beside of Waverly, where we rezoned it commercial. There's several others, but I'd just like to be able to find out or be sure that they are put back on the tax rolls.
So generally, once they're rezoned, it's entered into GIS, and then GIS coordinates with the assessor's office, so I can check and see if all those have been coordinated. One of the big ones I know is the church. So I'll see if I can follow the trail and make sure that those are.
Especially if we may not be able to verify everything, but if we have some that, we can track that. You said that we've done the zoning on the last, say the last year, or the last 2 years.
You know,
We should be able to get those particular addresses and send them to confirm that they do.
That's
I'm trying to think of the process behind it. We do that.
it's like those two pieces of property up here at the Blackhawk. One on one side of the road, one on the other side. That's how the split zone that we had to take and split it again, actually. I think on one, we made part of it commercial, turned part of the commercial back into residential. And
Good, very good, very good idea. Anything else?
that's all I got.
Vice Mayor Golden. Councilman.
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Councilmember Whit.
I just want to thank the complete anybody out there would like to be on our committee, please just let me know. We've still got some things that we're gonna be hitting the ground running with to ensure that we can get 100%. I don't think we've ever gotten 100% before, but we're gonna get it this year, so. But I wanna thank these people for the shirts, and if anybody wants to see what one looks like, I'm gonna let you see it right now. We're walking billboards.
Ah.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. So, as usual, I have a few things. Again, yes, I wanted to, it's a running joke up here. Anyway, I take off yours. I also thank the census, like I said earlier. The involvement for that is time consuming. There's a lot of effort put into it, and it's greatly appreciated because it's very important that it's done and done accurately and everyone's counted. So again, thank you. Wanted to mention Meet the Mayor. That occurred last Saturday. We had that here at the East Ridge Community Center, and we had our guest speaker was Crystal Reno with the Animal Services Division. She brought a precious little girl, Dora, to Meet the Mayor and meet the attendees, and gave us a background on herself, her staff, provided a lot of good information and amazing facts about the shelter and tips and techniques to use as pet owners. And been delayed, but I'm going to get the details out on that Meet the Mayor, so there'll a little more details on that later when I have a chance to publish that. But it was it's very good. And Dora got adopted this week. Did you realize that?
No.
Yeah. So it was a little, no, not by me. I said if she was there a week later, I probably would go get her, but someone else had adopted her. A couple other things. One is East Ridge Elementary was named Leader in Meade Lighthouse School. So it was in the actual Times Free Press. So East Ridge Elementary School is just one of 5 schools in Tennessee that was recently certified as a Leader in the Meade Lighthouse School by Franklin Covey Education. And thanks to the school's use in their leadership program. This recognition is evidence that our East Ridge Elementary has produced outstanding school students, resulting in implementing a Leader in Me process, which teaches children leadership principles through direct lessons that encourage students to think critically. So many thanks goes out to Principal Marino and the teachers and staff at East Ridge Elementary for doing a fine job. So if you have a chance to look the article up, or if you want to come see it, it's very encouraging and very amazing to have our East Ridge Elementary 1 of 5 in the state of Tennessee. As usual, I always want to mention our city library. That's near and dear to my heart. We mentioned it last time. They had the movie last week coming up on March the 2nd from 3 to 5. Monday, March the 2nd. It's the Dr. Seuss birthday party. I mentioned it earlier, so that'll be awesome to bring the kids and come see Cat in the Hat. And I think they're going to have theme 1 and theme 2, and they're going to provide some refreshments. It's free and no registration is required. 3 to 5 on March the 2nd. Spring is coming, believe it or not, and we have amazing things going on at Parks and Rec. I don't know, I may call Adam up, but East Ridge Spring Rally Cats is starting, I think, the 14th. Next weekend, I believe, is their Saturday to Sunday is going to be their youth tennis for the ages 4 to 10. You can call Amy Gibson at 866-0974. I have the information if you want it to get signed up for that. Also, I think you're still having enrollments for soccer, baseball, softball, t-ball sign up still. Yep. So.
Can you tell us you know the deadlines off the top of your
Yeah.
head?
Please.
The unofficial deadline is this weekend, but we'll take registrations until we fill the things out.
Okay. And on March the 7th, stop by Academy Sports. And do you want to talk about this, or do you want me to?
Yeah, on March the 7th, Academy Sports is having a 20% off coupon where you can come in and get 20% off your entire purchase. And it's a coupon that you can get on our website at eastridgeparksandrec.com.
I'm going to mention that.
So we have some hard copy coupons also at Camp Jordan or at the community center, but if you want to purchase anything there.
20% off the entire order.
Anything.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a pretty good deal.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Also, they're saying that the first 150 customers will get a free T-shirt, and then they'll be actually put into a drawing for some gift cards, some chairs, some outdoor tumblers, and then a few other things while supply lasts. So put that on your calendar. There's great savings to go there and do that. I think that is all I have. Mr. Dorsey.
Thank you. I only crossed one thing off. So I want to start by thanking the Citizens Police Academy for they're still spending some time down there getting the police headquarters, the police department side. They're painted that lovely shade of gray, and they're doing a fabulous job down there. It's taking a little time, but you have volunteers that are dedicated. And from what I've heard, the quality of work has been very good. So that's improving. I was told it was good, but okay.
The rest of it were already good.
Stan's shaking his head yes, so he seems happy with it. So we do appreciate your hard work on your continuing to do that for us, so thank you. This last week, the mayor and I went to the TML, Tennessee Municipal League District 3 luncheon with our representatives from around this part of the state, and talked to them about a few of our concerns. It was a very productive meeting, and just wanted to mention that we have been making sure we're looking out for some of the interests of East Ridge at our state level, along with our very helpful representative, Vice Mayor Huffman. In addition to that, Kenny and I went to the Joint Economic Community Development Board meeting on Wednesday. I think it was Kenny's first time to those meetings. I haven't been to one in about 8 years, so it was interesting to get back into it. But as Kenny saw, there's lots of opportunities and lots of information out there for different types of grants and things of that nature, and to see what's going on with the other cities that are in our area. The county talked a lot about the census. I think we've right on you. So we have lots of posters, but nothing in Spanish. So we have to work on that still. So that was a good meeting. We also went to the Transportation Planning Organization, Metropolitan One for Hamilton County, North Georgia. Their executive meeting was this week, and the biggest thing that happened that involves us there was they rolled over what's called the TIP, the Transportation Investment Infrastructure Pool Project, TIP. Basically, our projects such as Ringgold Road and all those, they've been rolled over into the 2020-2023 TIP, so that the funding is still there, it's still in place. So the things are still moving forward with those projects, at least on the funding on the state side. And we're still working through, I think, some of the right-of-way acquisitions and things of that nature, and then we're getting close to getting started.
Yes.
So that's good. One other item. I just wanted to let the board, the council know that I am planning on switching our account representative for our insurance, dealing with property insurance, liability insurance, and workers' comp insurance. Those are the three that we work with through the TML pool, which is now called Public Entity Partners. Our insurance rep is the one that helps us with the information, whether it's the forms that need to be filled out, whether it's the applications, going through to make sure everything is reviewed and covered, and that we have all the things we need to be done with that. So I'm switching from Atlas Insurance to First Volunteer Insurance. They handle some other municipalities in the area as well, and I actually had Diane and Kenny, we met with them to see what they thought about it as well, and we're confident they can help us continue to do a good job. So I just want to make sure, there's no board action required on that, but I just want to make sure that I notify the board so you were informed that I'm planning on doing it. And that's all I have.
Actually, I have one that I had forgotten. So I want to congratulate Vice Mayor Hilton, their rep, as being named Deputy Whip at the state level. Congratulations on that. I'm sure that was an honor to receive that. Moving to item 8, old business, which we have none. So then we'll just slide right over into 9, new business. Item A, public hearing to ordinance 1124.
Rezoning for 5330 Ringgold Road, Southern Honda Power Sports. This will be the public hearing for ordinance 1124.
I'll give you an update. Mayor Council, this is 5330 Ringo Road. As I've discussed previously, this property was zoned from C2 to M3 with the thought that the previous owner was going to do a large indoor climate-controlled storage. Since then, many people are aware that the acquisition with Southern Honda Power Sports has taken place, and now they wish to zone that back to its original use of C2.
Okay. I will open the public hearing, so we'll actually, if anyone is in favor or opposition to the ordinance 1124, this is your opportunity to come forward, provide any comments, questions, concerns. I see none. We'll close this public hearing and we'll move into the ordinance itself. Item B, ordinance number 1124.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee so as to rezone the property located at 5330 Ringgold Road, tax map number 116J-A-031 from M3 Manufacturing District to C2 General Commercial District.
And this will be the first reading. As Assistant City Manager Custer mentioned about this, so I'll go ahead and entertain a motion for ordinance number 1124.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 1124.
Second.
Okay. All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Wilson.
Vice Mayor Hilton. Yes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Pass first reading. Move to item C, ordinance number 1125.
An ordinance of the City Council, an ordinance to amend Title 8, Chapter 2 of the City of East Ridge Municipal Code pertaining to temporary special events permit on city property.
I understand. I'm having problems tonight too.
Mayor and council, as you recall, several years back, we looked at the temporary special permits for Camp Jordan Park, and that went back and forth for a little while, and we created an ordinance and some guidelines to go through. As we went over those for different reasons, we've determined that some of the sections contradict themselves. So the city manager and myself looked at as Title II as it pertains to temporary special event beer permits on city property. One amendment reflects time restraints on permit submittal. That time restraints was 45 days. At the rate that we work and process information, 45 days wasn't really clear on why that was there, so we felt that needed to be changed.
And that same permit on non-city property is the 2-week time.
It's 2-week time frame, so we cleaned those up to make a match to 2 weeks. Currently, 2 sections within the code provided for different time frames, like we just discussed. The amendment will create consistency. Other amendments include beer may be served from cups or cans, and also aluminum top bottles. To before, it just said that it had to be served in a cup. That was one of the previous city manager's ideas that he liked. But if you look at vendors and the way different people do things at shows or festivals, it's not always in a cup. They have different methods, but the main thing to avoid is serving glass bottles. So that's why those are still prohibited. Other amendments include beer may be served, or initial permit fee is $250, but it allows for additional event permits at $50 each within the calendar year.
Within that application.
Within that application, that's correct. And the amendment also provides the ability for beer sales in and on the soccer stadium facility.
All right. I will entertain a motion for ordinance number 1125.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1125.
Number 5. Title 8, Chapter 2, Section
Can we get a second for discussion? Are you making the second for discussion? Okay, thank you.
I would like to add Marshall, that's the old Bryant School, to the title in chapter 2. I would be interested, I think lots of us would be interested in the future, possibly having vegetables there. It would be great to have someplace other than Camp Jordan, have a gathering for events.
Okay, so you're asking you're requesting to amend
Yes,
item 5 to include the Bryant School.
yes.
Do we have any other discussion? Questions? Yes, sir.
Back in 2017, we had this discussion. We worked diligently to change ordinance 1060, to change these rules to where what they read now. Now we're here back here. And in this 824, only thing that they're wanting to put in here is the Osborne Stadium field, and now she's wanting to put in the school over here. The Osborne Stadium field, in my opinion, is a designated field. Draws are also leaving in any designated non-field. So can we get a clarification on what a non-field is?
That would mean anywhere, correct me if I'm wrong, okay, that would be anywhere within the Camp Jordan area that's not part of a soccer field. In other words, you have the land over by the arena, you have where there might be some sort of gathering or festival or something else. But basically, that was the same language that was in it before about the non-field.
Yeah.
So we just, like I said, we try to clarify some things because to us, that is our interpretation.
The Osborne Stadium / field, so that makes it now a designated field, correct?
Yes, and we also changed the information about the perimeter of where you can have beer and the containment areas of beer. Because before it talked about the fencing that had to be around it, and it could just be a small area, but you've had things in Camp Jordan Arena before. You could have it anywhere within the arena and not just a special little designated area within the arena. And it was sort of fuzzy when you tried to read through it to figure out what that meant. So we just tried to clarify the language on that sort of stuff as well.
So all softball fields is classified a designated field.
Yes, it's a non-field area.
Right.
Okay. Now, the concession stand up on the hill, is that a non-designated field or is that a designated concession stand?
That's a concession stand. That would be a non-field area.
So we could go in there and fence that off and sell beer there?
You could.
Okay. Have we had someone to ask to use the soccer field to sell beer?
It's been discussed.
Okay. So they feel like they can't have a soccer tournament down there or a soccer league down there without selling beer to draw enough crowd to draw a profit?
No, you can, but it's just,
But they want to sell beer.
absolutely.
Okay. Now, section 224J. I know the last time I was down at Eagle Stadium for a baseball game, the concessionaire comes around and sells you a beer and he pours it into a paper cup, keeps the can for the safety reason in case somebody gets really mad, keep from throwing a can of beer at somebody. So we're voting now to allow the cans to be sold in the bar instead of these paper cups.
Yes, so multiple events that we attend, they actually serve it in the cans and they'll put koozies on the cans as a promotional ad.
Nothing wrong with the time frame. So we are taking out the limit on the number of permits.
Yes. The reason for that is if we want to do, and what we hope that actually happens, is if we have somebody that wants to do a summer concert series at the amphitheater, they want to come in and apply for 5 Fridays over the course of the summer. So that one application can hold the 5 Fridays.
Well, that was discussed back then, and we still put the free limit on it.
I agree, but they also had to come back each time for the permit. So this allows one permit, but they just have to pay, they'll get the initial permit, and then they have to renew the permit, $50 each time that they come back for the different events. So they can actually plan on what they want to do.
So they come in the 1st of January, and they're gonna plan everything to June the 30th, 180 days.
If they chose to. And it was
All
accepted.
that has to be within that 180 days, and they plan it to.
I don't believe it's got, I think it says you can't plan out further than a year. I believe the.
It depends on, I believe,
180 days.
it depends on if it's a sporting event or not a sporting event, I believe, because we didn't change that part of the language. We left the 180-day max and the sporting issues. We didn't touch that at all. The only thing we got rid of was the minimum 45 days. It made no sense for 45 days for that on city property, but it's only 2 weeks if it's not on city property for the exact same permit. And if you read, it looks like that section was added and nothing was changed in the sections that were before it. They just tagged that on. And if you read the first couple sections, it gets vague reading that and then trying to read this last section. That's why I told you, you know, it's hard to tell if the beer board's the one that had to approve it, if city council had to approve it, because it talks about temporary permits. Is that a temporary beer permit? Is that a temporary special event permit? That's all very vague, and we tried to address those issues. We cleaned it up.
That was my next subject. Number 2 here, 820. Reads, city council shall have the authority to issue a one-time permit. Then it be replaced with the city council shall also have the authority after a 2-week submission. So explain well where you're going there.
Originally, in ordinance 1060, section 8207, it said all applications, whether for regular beer permits or temporary permits, shall be fully completed and submitted at least 2 weeks prior to any regularly scheduled or special call meeting of the beer board. Said fee shall be in the form of a cashier's check payable to the city of East Ridge, blah, blah, blah. But then down here it says the city council shall have the authority to issue a one-time temporary special events permit, which to allow the sale. And then it talks about a 45-day part in between. That first paragraph, if for some reason you want to keep the 45-day, the city council should have mentioned something about that special type of permit up there. That's one of the things that was very vague at the beginning that we tried to clear up.
So it's inconsistent from one paragraph, one section.
Well,
to the other.
it provides actually 3 different people that can pass beer permits in different sections. It gives the city council the ability to pass it on city property. It gives, if it's within 3 days of an event, the city manager has the authority to grant the permit.
On non-city.
Yeah, not on city property, and then the beer board does the rest of the temporary permits. So in one ordinance, you got 3 different bodies that can approve 3 different events. It's not very efficient.
Like I said, it looks like they added on, the ordinance was added to the end of what was in the municipal code, but it didn't take into account what was already there to begin with.
And this 3C, 1060. City manager will give the applicant notice of the date and time when the application will be reviewed by the city council. So that's putting it back to us.
Well, that's because at the beginning of 8220, it says city council shall have the authority, but it doesn't say what, if the beer board can also have the authority or not on it. So again, you're back to the confusion of the fact of having to go back to here. If you're saying we didn't change that, we need to take out the city council part, then I would agree, we may need to amend that part of that section. We just want to say every time the application will be reviewed and strike by the city council, I think that'd be a good amendment.
And something on 1060 that has never been enforced or proceeded or done is number 5, the last thing called post event report. I know the last special permit thing, I asked for a copy of the report. The gentleman that got the special permit said he received that I got one. The city manager said he received that I got one, but I have never received one. But I would like to see what the alcohol sales were generating.
Was that for the Ducks Unlimited?
But I think we had 3 events down there too, but one same person and one different person. And and I've never seen a post event on none
The last one's when? End of November?
It
December?
would have been in the fall, I believe. I don't recall.
So that could have just been over 60 days, so I'll check on that. Because that's the one I know of. It's that last one. Why, just out of curiosity, I mean, I've talked about it, why do we have a post-event report?
of them. I don't know, it's here. I just.
I know, but I mean, you were on it, whoever was on the council at the time, I'm just curious. Why do we want to know how much beer they sold? I mean, I'm okay having it, it's good information to know, but why do we have that as a requirement?
I like to see it for the simple reason that know if it's beneficial. If the city might want to consider selling the beer.
Okay, that's good.
Because of simple fact, like I mentioned, the bathroom on the hill, all right, it's got a patio, picnic tables. Still got back to me that statement's still been made that we can finish that in, and start selling beer there during the tournaments down there, car shows down there, like the one coming up. So, do we need to go ahead and do all of this instead of every 3 months somebody's coming in and requesting a change to do this? I mean, I don't want none of it in the park, okay? But I can't see us coming back here every 9, 10 months, going through the same arguments to amend this 1060 to get it done. I mean, 'cause everybody knows I'm gonna vote against it anyway, so I'm just trying to make my argument on why I don't want it, so.
I got you.
And Councilman, I think, so when it was put together initially, like I said, I wasn't part of it getting put together. I had some discussions about it, but I know that was an initial thing to kind of get it started because somebody had requested it for an event. I think what the approach we're trying to take is think a little bit outside the box about what possibilities could be. So if we can get it fixed, we don't have to keep coming back and make these changes. Because we were, just to give you an example, I was at Blue Ridge and they had what they call a Fire and Ice Festival. And it was downtown, they closed off a block, right across from City Hall. And it was a great event, the way it was
So
put
you
together.
talk about downtown, well, we're talking about East Ridge, you know, Chattanooga's different.
I said Blue Ridge, Blue Ridge. It's a lot smaller than East Ridge. But the way they're able to do these events is great. Right, and East Ridge has the ability to do these sort of things that would set us apart from Chattanooga or Collegedale or Ooltewah, so we can kind of stand on our own 2 feet for a minute.
Councilman Cagle, do you have some others? Do you have any others, questions?
Oh, I do, but I'm through.
Do we have anybody else? Any other discussion items? All right, so we have a motion and a second for discussion. And we also have a modification.
Can we get a second modification on the point that Councilman Cagle brought up?
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
You want to?
On 3C, which I just have,
You want
the
that amendment?
application be reviewed and put a period there and get rid of the by the council.
I'm voting for anything that's voted on here in the park, so, or if y'all want to modify, I'm voting no on it anyway, so.
All right, so should we?
Well, somebody wants to take up what Councilman Cagle identified and observed. That would be on section 3C, 8-220. And that would just be taken off
By the city council.
by the city council, so you would just end it right there.
I believe Vice Mayor also had an addition she wanted to add.
Yeah, she did. She's already said, McBride School, but then.
3D, need to talk to.
Yes.
So then,
And just eliminate.
Mr. Litchford is saying someone else will need to make that amendment.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm hearing from Councilman Cagle.
What?
I'm not hearing the motion to meet, right?
You're not getting that amendment.
James?
Is the motion to amend to say that the city council, what exactly?
Well, let's do Councilman Helton. Yeah, she's moving to amend the motion to add the McBride School.
Okay.
We'll get a second on that.
I'll second that.
All right, we got a second on that.
We're going to just drive it straight. motion for the amendment from Vice Mayor Hilton and a second from Councilmember Chauncey.
And then we'll need a motion with regard to section 8-220, subsection 3C, by removing the last 4 words there, by the city council, and also removing section D.
All right, so entertain a motion for that.
I would be glad to make a motion on that, but I'm not sure I can remember everything you just said, so
Well, I'll try again.
okay.
On section 8-220, the motion would be, I move to also amend section 8-220 by removing the last 4 words of section 3C.
I don't need.
Well, that's coming from the,
No, but this is in the ordinance 1125 only references certain sections of these respective portions. What I'm identifying, right, this is adding to it, it's in the actual ordinance as it relates to 1060 back in December of 17. And I've got that copy here, and so you can't see it here, but it's amending what is currently on the books. Oh, that's right, yeah. I'm sorry, let's go back to before, while Kenny is writing it up for it. We've had a first and a second on Councilwoman Helton's motion. Let's vote on that one to add that to the current outstanding.
that's the amending McBride.
Correct, to add McBride. This is simply to add McBride.
Okay, and that was Vice Mayor Hilton and.
I think Councilman Johnson, I think.
Okay, all right, so roll call. Ms. Middleton?
Vice Mayor Hilton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
No.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Webb.
Yes,
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
So we've got that amended. Now we need to go. And that would be again on section 8-220, subsection 3C would be to remove the last 4 words there and all of section 3D.
okay. Are we ready? I want to make a motion to amend section 8-220, section 3C, let's see, reviewed by the city council and add all section D, 3D. You got that? Because I can repeat it.
I'll second that.
Ms. Middleton, do you have that? Okay, so we've got a first and second on that one.
Who placed the second?
Councilman Chauncey, I believe. did.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, roll call for that amendment.
Vice Mayor Hilton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
No.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Webb.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Williams, one thing, when Vice Mayor Hilton mentioned, she mentioned McBride School and the festivals, I would assume, which is a bad word, you meant the parcel that had the school, because you got the field next to the school where a festival would be, and it's just the physical building,
Yes.
Yeah, we just wanted
the
clarification.
parcel.
All right. So now we have that amended twice. Now we're ready to vote on.
The original motion, which I believe was moved by Councilwoman, no, Councilwoman.
Councilmember Witt, second by Vice Mayor Hilton. All right, any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Hilton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
No.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Webb.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. It's all clear now.
This is section 9D is the public hearing for resolution number 3020, which relates to a use on review relative to exit Exit 12 and Exit 13 LLC to permit certain uses in a C1 Tourism Commercial District and C2 General Commercial District located on certain property parcels in Camp Jordan Parkway, identified as number 170I-A-037, 170I-A-037.3, 0.03, 170I-A-037.06, 170I-A-037.07, and 170I-A-038.
All right. Is this City Manager Custer?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, some time ago, we went through a similar request back before Topgolf was named. This is actually the same request that would allow outdoor recreation, outdoor theater, outdoor entertainment, golf driving range, mini golf, and other accessory uses related to special type amusement. And this actually covers the remaining portion of their property. So if they get a tenant that comes in that wants to sign a lease, the only thing that they're held up on currently is coming through these approval processes for an indoor space. And this would allow them to go ahead and work through the leases and stuff like that. So it just cleans it up, makes it streamlines the process just a little bit more.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We will open this public hearing. Anyone that would like to come forward that is in favor or opposition that would like to address the council concerning this resolution for the special use and review? I see none. We'll close this public hearing. We'll move into the resolution 3020, which I believe you've already read.
Yeah, but, well, I read portions of it, I'll read it. This is Resolution 3020, a resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving a request from Matthew Wood representing Exit 23, LLC to permit certain uses in a C1 Tourism Commercial District and C2 General Commercial District located on Camp Jordan Parkway, tax parcels number 170I-A-037, number 170I-A-037.03, number 170I-A-037.06, 170I-A-037.07, and number 170I-A-038, and in accordance with the City Code Article 5, Section 1203, titled Uses Permitted on Review.
Thank you, sir. I will entertain a motion for resolution 3020.
Motion to approve resolution number 3020.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Vice Mayor Hilton and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? Yes, sir.
Partial ID 1701A03706, and also a partial 1701A3707. These pieces of property have no assessed value. So they've been on the Hamilton County tax map here. This one's been on there since November 17, and this one's also November 17. But they have no assessed value. Property not worth nothing that we're have no
So
property value.
I've not looked at exactly the parcel and ID'd the parcel. It could be one of the parcels that was recently acquired through an acquisition with Henry Lucan, and part of that parcel is a non-desirable parcel. So what we did is we actually took everything within the property boundary that they own and added all those parcel numbers in there. They may not ever build anything on that, but if they ever did or could, obviously value would be assessed against it. But then they would be able to work within the lease to attract.
Property as it sits there now at 629 Camp Jordan Parkway and 631 Camp Jordan has no value.
I don't know what those addresses actually are. I mean, I don't know what business is sitting there, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't tell with the map over here. according to this is just a little bit of your regular thing. I personally believe this is the two pieces of property that they came back and asked us to give them so they could put the drive-through around coffee shop and add a few more parking spots in front of Chick-fil-A.
And it very well could be, but that's what I said, we just added every parcel that was listed within that development as one review request. Not that there's something going to go on the parcel in front of.
So these south values over here may not be right either.
They should be addressed, and I'll address those in the same way as the other ones that we talked about earlier.
That's what got my attention.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, because they should be assessed.
They should have it assessed.
Yeah. You know, but it's worth something to us, because we give it to them, then it's worth something to them to put parking spaces up.
And really, those parcels probably should be, those lot lines may need to be dissolved and added into whatever the correct use is. So that it just becomes one assessed value from that whole parcel instead of the divided lot line. So I can look into that. And we may end up having to clean those lot lines up once their development's complete anyway.
One other question while we're on this. Name of the road, is it Cape Park Lane? That's the one coming?
Yes, to the
Okay.
substation.
We gave them that road. They were supposed to close it, then they didn't close it, they leave it open for an entrance and exit. If we have a accident down there, is that road considered private property or is it considered Cape Park Lane?
The only portion that is truly identified as K Park Lane is when you actually turn to go to the substation. So once you make the turn to go to the substation, that's considered K Park. The road itself that's in front of it, that stops at the entry to, or the back entry, which is an extension of St. Thomas now, the old Camp Jordan Parkway.
Well, I'm sorry, I thought the St. Thomas went down in front of the fire hall.
It does.
Okay, so that's Cape Park goes in front of the hotel.
No. I think they changed, I'm sorry, I think they might have changed it to Wright Street. We had to go through GIS because we had to do some address changes, the way St. Thomas was and Camp Jordan Parkway, for the Motel 6. But, yeah, but I believe K Park is, to the best I recall, K Park was the only, it was the unimproved road that went to the substation that had a name.
The substation turns right and goes up.
Right, which is K Park Lane.
I thought they called that something else.
I believe that was K Park. I'll follow back up with you on though, how's that?
I'll get Mr. Barnes' survey out and look at it.
I can probably pull it up real quick.
Anything else, Councilman?
No, I'm just kind of interested in that.
It's fine.
I was looking through all this today and I seen that they didn't close that road like they were supposed to, and it's in and out, so.
Right. Any other discussion? Roll call, Ms. Mosby.
Vice Mayor Helton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Item F, resolution number 3021.
Resolution of City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, appointing members to the East Ridge Personnel Board.
Do you want to mention anything, or these are annual appointments, correct? And I think that they end
The end of
in February, so we'll reappoint. I'm sure everyone's got an appointment tonight. We requested that. So I'll go ahead and start. I'd like to thank Jackie Berry for her service as the previous personnel board member. She's actually sold and moved out of East Ridge, so she's no longer can or wants to be on the board. So I've reached out to Pamela Beer, who's here tonight. Pamela's married to Daniel Beer, who's a police chaplain since 2009. She's a resident of East Ridge for over 10 years. Is employed by Unum since October 2010, the title of Quality Compliance specialist at the UNM's lead department. She has a bachelor's degree in health science from Lee University and 2 associates from the community college in Newport, Virginia. So that is my appointment, Pamela Beard. Vice Mayor Hilton.
I would like to reappoint Charles McCullough. He has served the position very well, and I thank you for your continued willingness to serve.
Councilman Cagle.
For my pick would be Miss Doris Rogers. She served on this thing. She's willing and able. She's familiar with the city's policies, so Doris Rogers is my nomination.
All right. Councilman Chauncey.
I'm going to reappoint Mr. Robert Jones. I don't think he's here tonight, but I thank him for his service.
All right, thank you. And Councilmember Witt.
I would like to thank Colleen Lieberman. She has chosen not to be reappointed, but we appreciate all the hard work that she did. But I'm appointing Jane Sharp. Jane is a 1969 graduate from East Ridge High School and has lived most of her life here, not all of it, but we appreciate the fact that she's also on the Complete Count Committee. So thank you, Jane.
All right, we have those documented. So I guess we'll memorialize those with a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 3021.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Chauncey. I'll ask for any questions. I see none. Roll call, Ms. Mills.
Vice Mayor Hilton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Thank you for your volunteering to serve for our city. It's greatly appreciated. Item G, Resolution 3022.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee to waive the fee for the East Ridge Football Club to host the Scenic City Soccer Cup.
Yes, Mayor and Council, the East Ridge Football Club has requested the city to waive the field rental fees and the kitchen pavilion rental fees for the annual Scenic City Soccer Cup that comes to Camp Jordan every year. This event is scheduled this year, April 24th through the 26th. And in the past, we've had several hundred teams that participate in this huge soccer tournament. And the economic impact is very positive for our city. So staff is recommending that we waive the fees for East Ridge Football Club.
And also to add, the funds gathered from the tournament are distributed throughout all the recreational organizations within Hamilton County that participate. So the East Ridge Football Club receives a portion of the proceeds for the tournament, and then they turn around and use that for field enhancements, buying goals, nets, field paint, whatever the needs may be for soccer that may not be in the budget for the city. They will go out and make those purchases on their own.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Custer. I'll entertain a motion for Resolution 3022.
Make motion to approve. 3022.
We have a motion from Councilmember Chauncey and a second from Vice Mayor Hilton. Do we have any discussion?
How many fields are going to be used?
We have 9 soccer fields that we can use, and we can use the outfields of baseball fields if we need
We
to.
don't know how many fields we're actually going to be using.
I don't know as of today, but we still have, probably close to a couple months before this.
Soccer stadium will be used.
It is reserved right now for this tournament.
It usually is. If we have the 220, 240 teams like we've had in the past, we end up using all the fields at Camp Jordan plus 4 outfields, all the fields at Readout, and 2 at North River. So it ends up being literally a countywide approach.
There's more than the capacity we can handle.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong, I wish it was all here.
I can fix that.
Are there any way that we could get a form to hand to each one of the coaches that'll grade the facility, the number of motel rooms and which motel they are staying at,
Yeah, I would say there probably is. A lot of times the Chattanooga Sports Committee will do that and we can get the information from them, but we could definitely, try to see where these teams are coming from.
That would really help in the showing what the motels and the hotels are getting out of this.
The easiest thing to do would just be an electronic survey to each coach as part of their because they always submit feedback requests, so they always ask for feedback after the tournament, how the tournament went, how things were, so we could have that added into that as a survey and submit it back, or it'll go back through the CDB, but we'll request a copy.
I know back when I done the softball circuit, but they always gave us on scoring, they wanted to know how many motel rooms we used, and where we, some of the restaurants we ate at, what the average spending was of per member and stuff like that, because that helped them to know whether they wanted the tournament next year or not, so.
Over time, what I think we'll see, we have to utilize it on a regular basis when I travel, but you have a state of play program, so where you're booking a tournament and the tournaments continue to grow, then you will be allotted a certain number of hotels, and then they have to book within those hotels. So then it's easy to do it, because in order for your team to play in the tournament, they have to stay in XYZ hotels.
If I go on the softball tournaments they have here, the exposure tournaments, they put out a list of what motels they want you to stay in. And I know a team that's coming from Atlanta, the motel they give them is Dalton, or over in Tiltonia, so that is ridiculous.
That particular tournament is a state of play too, so you have to stay in a sports committee identified hotel in Hamilton County to be able to play the tournament.
And I think where the direction that we're going and the relationship that we're building with the sports committee will only benefit us because our facilities will continue to be added to their inventory. And if they're adding our inventory of facilities, they'll be adding our hotels to their inventory for state play. We want everybody to stay here.
Exactly. Any questions? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Hilton. Yes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Item H, Resolution 3023.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city to donate $500 to East Ridge Middle School for the Healthy Initiative Program.
Okay. Y'all remember every year we budget money for each of the schools, and so we've sent our letters out. And the middle school is the first one that has sent in what they'd like to use it for. And so I would like to get y'all's approval so we would be able to go ahead and cut their check for them next week.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for Resolution 3023.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3023.
Second.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Hilton, and a second by Councilwoman Witt. To any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Hilton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Item I, Resolution 3024.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city manager or his designee to purchase a portion of that certain property located at 517 Frawley Road, East Ridge, Tennessee, tax map number 170G-A-006.
Mayor and council, as you all are aware, we've been working through the conversion process. It seems like forever now. We are reaching the final stages of what we're having to do, what's being required of us. We have multiple things and we're working simultaneously now. We've got S&ME working on phase 1, phase 2 environmental, so we're really getting to where we're much closer than we were. This property right here actually adjoins Camp Jordan Park. This is plus or minus 20 acres. We've been working with Mr. Desai in discussions for over a year now. The idea is if we able to purchase this tract of land as part of the conversion, that's plus or minus 20 acres. We intend to utilize this part of the property as part of the conversion with NPS and TDEC. And we also intend to enhance the outdoor recreation experience by utilizing the large lake, which is a very large lake that's out there. It's very deep. Extend disc golf and trail running. The property provides us endless outdoor recreational opportunities, and the owner's requesting $120,000.
All right. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3024.
Make motion to approve. 3024.
We have a motion from Councilmember Chauncey and a second from Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir. I have been against this conversion ever since it got started. So I hate to give our property way down there we got, I hate to give it to private entities to use. But my question is, if this property has to be purchased for the conversion to succeed. And that's a question for the city attorney.
Right, in a conversion, you've got to have replacement property identified. And in this case, the city identified the southern border of, or one, he wanted it to be adjacent, because as I understood, the council, or the administration, the council wanted to keep the land adjacent. They located this as part of the need for replacement property. NPS, I understand, has given a preliminary approval that this qualifies the replacement property with regard to the stadium that is being consideration for conversion. And it's not a definite approval yet, but they've given a preliminary approval. And as Mr. Custer said, they're doing the phase 1, phase 2 environmentals with SNME, which will move forward with the conversion.
And this, the conversion we're looking at, what is it, Mark, 5 to 7 acres is the converted
Oh, the
piece?
conversion is right, I think it's like 7.18 or 7.2 acres, because they gotta have the parking.
Right.
In addition to the stadium.
So we'll be plus 15 acres added to the park, even with the reduction of the 7.
15 acres of floodplain, swampland.
Well, most of the park is now.
The extra ball, the extra soccer field we're building has nothing to do with this conversion. To allow the, okay.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, this, the 120,000 is 100% reimbursable by Board of Regents, correct?
It is. Okay. It's considered under a reimbursable expense under the Act.
Any other questions? Because that was one of mine.
Board of Regents will reimburse park. I didn't think they would. I thought that had come in the hotel motel.
Yep.
No, the question is, with the expense with respect to the purchase, is a reimbursable expense that can be turned in under the Board of Regents for purposes of reimbursement to the city. Under the code, a reimbursable expense has got a laundry list of definitions. One of those is included is parks that are accompanying the extraordinary retail development and other peripheral development in the Board of Regent district. This borders right on it, and is therefore in our resolution, we specifically provide in there that a consideration of this is that it will further and advance the district, which is a qualifying reimbursable expense under the Board of Regent Act.
And if I may, there's another problem with using hotel motel tax on this anyway. Make sure I said this right, Diane. We were reading through the ordinances and things with hotel motel, and it says the money from the hotel motel tax, even though, by state law it's used for tourism, and we are using it for tourism, for some reason our ordinance says that money has to go into the debt service fund. So if I want to spend cash on something out of Camp Jordan that would be used for hotel motel, I can't. Not right yet, not until we change the ordinance, because it says it has to go into the debt service fund, which I don't understand why. Maybe they figured originally we'd be spending so much we would use everything on debt service, but if I want to pay cash for something, I can't use hotel motel at this time. So that's one of the items I had mentioned to Diane and Assistant City Manager Custer. We want to be able to change that ordinance to say, yes, it has to be spent on tourism. But if we want to spend cash with hotel motel, we should be able to spend cash. But right now, it has to go into debt service.
But if we can get reimbursed from the Board of Regents,
Right, but I was just answering
I know, I understand.
Councilmember Cable's question, that we can't, at this moment, we couldn't use hotel rooms if we wanted.
I know that the Board of Regents thing was asked about, but something else was gonna spend it, a park, and we said we couldn't. That's the reason why I brought that back up. So, now this, we pass this resolution tonight, this is the sale of the land tonight, or is that depending on the conversion going through?
That was my other question that was going to ask.
No, it's contingent on the approval of the conversion. We specifically provided in the agreement. Well, let me pull up the agreement here. Is it in here, in the packet, the agreement?
Okay, I wasn't here on the thing.
But it was that and throughout the due diligence phase to make sure that we get through all the environmentals.
Yeah.
We're not agreeing.
Well,
Yeah, it states.
specifically in
it
the
states here.
agreement, it says,
Or-
oh, okay, I've got it in the, that right, the resolution?
Yeah, okay. Be further
Yeah.
and
okay.
resolved.
Well, they'll be able to take all action to consider, but let me, Councilman, just to reaffirm it for those that, the actual sale purchase agreement provides in there that conditions of closing, the city, one, has the option to get out of this if for any reason it doesn't qualify for the conversion, and then section 6, it is expressly understood between the parties that this transition is triggered in connection with the city's efforts to expand the park pursuant to the conversion. And in the event that it is not approved, then this agreement shall terminate without penalty and without further obligation between the parties. That's section 6 of the purchase agreement.
Which still doesn't mean if the city council still decided to purchase the land, even without the conversion to expand the park, the ability would be there.
Any other questions? Councilman Cagle, do you have any other questions, or, okay, I just knew you were flipping through, so make sure you're good. Roll call, Ms. Little.
Vice Mayor Hilton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
I'm against the conversion, but I hate to. Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Webb.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Item J, Resolution 3025.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, memorializing the appointment of an individual to the East Ridge Industrial Development Board to fill the unexpired term of Kelly Steele.
Yes, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Ms. Steele for her many years of serving on our Industrial Development Board. We appreciate her service and wish her well. I believe this appointment is for Councilman Johnson.
Yeah, I'm excited to announce my appointment for Mr. Lee Ramey. He's a long-term East Ridge resident. He's here with us tonight. You can wave. He's here with his lovely wife, Elizabeth. They actually just got married last week, so congratulations to you guys. Mr. Ramey and I talked for a really long time. He's really excited on the direction that East Ridge is going, and I have no doubt that he will keep the best interests of the city at hand at all times, and I think he's the best man for the job. Thank you, Lee, for your willingness to serve.
Yes, thank you very much, sir, for serving our city. We appreciate it. So we will take that nomination and we'll memorialize it. So I'll entertain a motion for.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion by Councilman Chauncey and a second by Vice Mayor Hilton. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Hilton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Webb.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Item K, Resolution 3026.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into an agreement with ASA Engineering for engineering services with regard to the Camp Jordan soccer and drainage improvements.
Mayor and council, staff recommend that we approve the amount not to exceed $50,000 for ASA to perform engineering and design for a parking lot expansion, enhance current stormwater inefficiencies, enhance and extend our field irrigation, and add 4 additional soccer fields to Camp Jordan Park.
We talked about this earlier, about us wanting to put those 4 additional soccer fields in over there at Camp Jordan. And earlier, we, in a previous meeting, we selected ASA to be the engineer to help us with this. And you all know the parking lot we're talking about, that real skinny one that's up there by Field 6 between that and the amphitheater. We basically want to double the size of that parking lot, because that's probably the most congested parking lot we have. That's at that end, and it has to spill out. So that will only help us at that end. And then we talked about the field irrigation, trying to fix some of that, and the stormwater inefficiencies. That's where we're not talking about where the backwaters have come in. We're talking about like whenever there's a rainstorm and things of that nature. There's areas where there's big puddles that stay for days.
Just lack of drainage.
Lack of drainage, so this will help correct those items as well. This is just the engineering services for that.
We're talking about the drainage gutter behind the playground that goes into the big ditch and leads off out into the,
Yeah, so where that holds water over on that side, and then also on the other side.
Field 6.
Yeah, I feel like 6 and 7, or 6 and 8.
Walking track there,
Water just stands on this side of the track because there wasn't anything placed, there wasn't a tile placed to drain it out to the other side towards the ditch, so it just holds water.
no tile comes out of it, like it's on that hill, so water don't run up here.
Nope. So there's some inefficiencies, minor inefficiencies that could be addressed with that.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for resolution 3026.
To make a motion to approve resolution 3026.
Do I have a second? We have a motion from Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Helton. Do we have any discussion?
What was the not to exceed 50,000?
Any other discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Helton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. All right, that concludes our regular agenda, so we'll move into item L, discussion for the tentative agenda for March the 12th. And I have that here. Thank you. So in our old business, we have ordinance number 1124, that would be the second and final reading, and ordinance number, any discussion? See none, then it would be ordinance number 1125, which is the Title 8, Chapter 2 of the Municipal Code for the special permits. It would be second and final reading. Do you have any discussion of that? Then under new business, there would be currently an unnumbered resolution to approve an RFP for concessions. Mr. Wilson?
Yes, Mayor and Council, on February the 24th, the city advertised an RFP for concession stand operations. The proposals are due on March the 5th, and we will present to council on March the 12th.
Any discussion, council? Any questions? Yes.
The concession here that's down there now, he have a 3-year contract with a year option and then another year option.
We're currently under contract with Funtime Foods through June the 30th of this year. And so,
we have an extension that he has the right to.
well, I think it would be if both parties agree, yes.
Has he turned it down, or
We haven't talked to him about it.
are y'all gonna bill him an RFP?
He has been sent one.
Okay.
I also reached out to him and let him know verbally that we were sending this out to be proactive. We don't want to wait until June the 30th and send an RFP. We want to send it out and then get get those bids back in and see who would be, best served for our concessionaire services.
Any other questions, council? Seeing none, item B, another unnumbered resolution for approving auditing firm HM.
It seems like I just got done with an audit, which I did.
Bid.
So it's time for us to get our contract for the one we'll be doing after June 30th. And so HHM has submitted their proposal for this year. I believe it's a $600 increase over last year. They may also have to do a single audit, but that's included in it. You have to do a single audit if you go over $1 million on a grant.
Yeah.
That's federal Gatsby guidelines, so there's a possibility they may be doing that also. We have a good relationship with them. They bring me new people every year, so I never, except for the main auditor, have the same people. So we'll bring it to you at
They
the
do that
next
for a
meeting.
reason, don't they?
It's to make sure,
Exactly.
and I never know what they're gonna ask for, never. So, but we'll be bringing that for a resolution at the next meeting.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions, council? Yes, sir.
Now, Jason and them have been with us a long time, as long as I can remember. They haven't been up very much. I think this is the first time that I can remember an increase. Yeah. I noticed that they're gonna have a hourly thing included in the contract.
Well, that's if
Or
they
has
go.
it been in there?
They usually have it in if they're asked to do something special.
Okay, so-
Like a few years ago, we had a council member that asked to have a special sales tax audit done, and they charged additional for that because it was not included under our audit. So that's what's just if there's something special.
So it's maybe or maybe not.
Yeah. So hopefully not, should be fine.
Anyone else? All right, that concludes the tentative agenda. Is there any other items anyone would like to bring up or add to the agenda? Any discussion items? I see none. I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Appreciate your support, your involvement in our city. Meeting adjourned.